I have absolutely no clue what I look like right now. Glasses? No glasses? Makeup? Yeah, makeup would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Alright, how do we look now? Let's have a look. Alright? I don't know. There. Hello. Today I would like to talk about something that is a serious problem for me and for my friends, because they have to experience it as well through me and through them being the same. I don't know, I need help. And that is the fact that I don't do people. I just can't do people. I can't handle being around people. I am so bad at talking to people, at just being around people in general, and just I am just really bad at it. I'll give you an example. By the way, I have a cold, so if there is someone at my school who is attractive or that I have a crush on, which happens a lot, I'm not gonna even lie about that. For example, there is a sixth former who just came to my school this year, and she's really cute. Yes, I like her. Basically, in our school, sixth formers have to do like duties. So we have at lunchtime, there is one who stands on the door and lets you into the lunch hall. They control the queue and see who goes in and stops you and stuff. And there is one who stands by where you put the plates away with the extra food that you haven't eaten, and there's one who sits by the door. We have to wipe our tables, and you have to point out when you leave, well, before you leave, which table you were sat at, and then they check it to see if you've wiped it, and then they let you out. More than once now, I've been at school about 4 weeks, I think. This girl has been sat at the door on that duty, and I've had to go up to her and talk to her and tell her which table I've been sat at. Generally I do this with my friends, but that's not going to help me because my friends are the exact same as me. I have two main friends, I would say, and they're both just as in love with her as I am. They started this new system this year where before you just had to point at the table. Now we have like numbers on the table, so we can say the number, so we actually have to speak to them, which is just even worse for me. I went up to her and she said, "What table were you sat at?" And she smiled at me, and I was just like, She just spoke to me. And I said, "Oh, I was sat at that one over there." Some of them don't have numbers on, I don't know why, it's weird. So I pointed to the one that doesn't have a number on, and I said, "Oh, the one without the number on, the last blue one on the left." And she was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." I'm so bad at life. Me and my two friends, we ran outside and we started like hyperventilating, and like, you know how it is when you're with your friends and you just see someone that you like, and you just have a meltdown when you're out of their way. You just start like crying, and it's the worst. We all started screaming and shouting, and we were just like, "Ah, she smiled, oh, etc." Then we just hear the crunching of this gravel behind us. So we turned around, and she was literally stood staring at us. I am such a bad example of a human being. Now this would only happen to me, and I don't know why it only happens to me, but I swear it only happens to me. And it's not just with people I like either. I'll give you another example of when this happened. Actually, I'll give you two. So one, I was leaving the Latin room. Our school they have bins where you just put your rubbish in. Obviously, that's what bin is, Katie, what are you doing? And then they have a recycling bin next to the bin. So it's just like a kind of box. It's like a plastic box where you put paper in. My shoes last year were really big for me, and they kept falling off. So I had this habit of walking, and I would just leave my shoe behind. Like, I'd be walking and I'd step out of the shoe, and everyone would be like, "Why have you left your shoe behind?" Plain. Really, now is not the time. I'd never been unfortunate enough to have this happen in a class or when I was a teacher. So I was leaving the room, and the room had a really weird setup. It has, so the whiteboard and the front of the room is there, and then you would have, there's tables that go like in a sort of horseshoe shape, or a sort of U shape down the sides of the classroom. So the door's here, the front of the classroom is here, and then they have a U shape of seats, a front row right by the teacher's desk, and some seats in the middle. I must have been sat, yeah, I think I was sat over on this side of the horseshoe. So the door was over here, so I had to walk round the back of the horseshoe and out of the door. And the recycling bin that I was talking about was right by the horseshoe. It was at the end of the other side of the horseshoe, about there. So I walked around and I stepped over the recycling bin with one leg, and my leg was in midair like the other one. I lifted my leg up to step over it, and my other leg, my back leg, was in midair. My shoe fell off into the recycling bin. I somehow didn't notice that this had happened, so I started walking off until I felt the carpet beneath my foot, and I was like, what's happened, where's my shoe? And the teacher then had to walk behind me, pick up my shoe from the recycling bin and give it to me. Why does this happen to me when I'm in classrooms? Why does it not happen to me when I'm alone? I'll give you another example. So at the end of last year, we were making these models in maths of like a room, and I went to the art room to, I think I was painting something, so I needed to borrow some paint. In our school there are 2 art teachers. One of them's in all week and the other one is in Tuesdays and Thursdays. Both of them were in that day. I think it must have been a Thursday. And we had the whole week to make these houses. And I'd gone to paint, like, I think it was like a little table that I'd made out of cardboard, like a really tiny table. And they have a really odd layout of the room again. It's sort of similar with the horseshoe shape. They always change the room around. And the sinks are like over at one side. And I'd finished painting this chair. And my friend wasn't with me, because she was doing the house with me, but she was in the maths room sorting it all out, because I just thought, oh, I'll only be 5 minutes, I just have to paint this little cardboard chair. Now, the sinks are over here, the desk is here, there's always a lot of stuff on the desk, and it just so happened that there was an A-level art piece stuck out on the desk. It was on the desk, but sticking out a bit, so like the corner was off the table. I walked with my paint to wash it up by the sink, and I walked around right from here down and past the desk to go to the sinks, which were over here. I don't know how I managed to do this without realising what was going to happen, but I did. I don't know. I walked past the desk and somehow managed, with my paint that I was carrying, my paint palette, to knock the teacher's mug, which thankfully didn't have tea in it, and the A-level art piece off the table. So there was just stuff all over the floor. Everyone turns to look at me. There was A-level art students in there, GCSE art students, and both the teachers. They would look at me like, what have you done? Oh my god. So I just awkwardly had to put my paint down on the table, crouch down, pick up the mug, put it back on the table, get the A-level art piece, which is an A-level art piece, you know, you can't damage it, and just say, sorry, I knocked it all off, and walk over to the sinks. This doesn't happen to normal people. Why am I like this? I just can't do people. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I'm sorry for my life. So, if you liked watching this video, or you relate to me, or you just think I'm a complete waste of space and an idiot, which I think, then please like this video for my awkwardness, because that was painful to go back over in my head, and I'm a fail. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked this video, you can subscribe. I'm sorry for the nasally voice. I sound very ill, because I am ill. Pray for me. Bye!